With the last update from the Elections Department, turnout was 81% as of 5 p.m. There were more than 31,000 eligible voters. The candidates are the People's Action Party's Koon, the Reform Party's Kenneth Jeyaretnam, Desmond Lim from the Singapore Democratic Alliance, and the Workers' Party's Lee Li Lian. And May Wong joins us now from the PAP Punggol East branch. May, what's the mood like where you are?
Well, right here is actually a People's Action Party kindergarten, which has been turned into an assembly point for the PAP grassroots supporters. And inside right now, there are right about 50 activists in there right now, and they are catching their breath because earlier, before they sent Dr. Koon off to the counting centre, they gave him a rousing cheer to actually give him some sort of an encouragement. As for Dr. Koon, the PAP candidate, just to give you a little bit of a background, over the last 9 days of campaigning for this by-elections, he has been working very hard trying to reach out to as many residents as he can, covering about 127 blocks here within the constituency. He has constantly hammered home the fact that he wants to talk about local issues, he wants to help the residents within this constituency and to come up with more facilities as well as services for them. He has largely spoken to the residents, saying that he wants to build more childcare services, he wants to build more elder care facilities, he wants to expand the transport network for them, increase the number of feeder bus services to allow a little bit more of easier travel for the residents within the constituency. All these plans, he says, is ultimately to help the residents because he says he hears their needs and he has a concrete plan, and he was asking for them to cast their ballots for him. Well, Dr. Koon is a new face, but nonetheless, he said that residents have indeed warmed up to him over the last 9 days, and he's hoping that that's going to translate into votes.
Thanks very much, May. And we now join S. Ramesh, who is at the centre where the result will be announced tonight. Ramesh, what's the latest from there?
Well, the latest from the North Vista Secondary School is that the PAP candidate, Dr. Koon, just left the centre here. Probably he's heading to the other counting centre at Rivervale Primary School to observe and inspect the counting process. Now, when Dr. Ko was leaving the North Vista Secondary School, he was all smiles and he was trying to contact somebody, probably the person who is taking care of his vehicle, to come and fetch him at the gate at the North Vista Secondary School to proceed to the next counting centre. Now, this place has been a media frenzy with the candidates from the 4 political parties contesting the by-election arriving here as early as 8 p.m. tonight, when the gates were closed after polling ended at 8 p.m. The first person to arrive was the Workers' Party candidate, Ms. Lee Li Lian. She was here even before counting ended, but she had to wait for a while before her vehicle could be allowed inside, as there were some procedures going on inside to probably conduct the poll before the vehicles could be allowed in. Next came, of course, Mr. Desmond Lim and Mr. Kenneth Jeyaretnam. The only person who is still inside here at the North Vista Centre is Mr. Kenneth Jeyaretnam. The other 3 candidates have moved on to the other counting centre. Now, the North Vista Secondary School will be the venue where the returning officer, Mr. Yam Army, will be making the announcement on the results of the Punggol East by-election. Now, we had a quick word with some of the PAP supporters who are here with Dr. Koon, and they don't think that it'll be a long night, and they think that all seems quite well. So let's wait and see whether we will be able to get the results as quickly as possible. It's about 31,000 odd votes to be counted, and we will know once the results are ready to be announced. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Ramesh, for that very comprehensive report. Now, our reporter Imelda Saad joins us from a coffee shop, usually a lively place when there's a vote. Imelda, what's happening where you are?
Well, yes, I am in Hougang, which is the bastion of the Workers' Party. Now, Hougang, of course, just borders the Punggol East constituency. Now, why is this by-election so important to the Workers' Party? Now, the opposition Workers' Party has pitched this as a mini referendum to the ruling People's Action Party's performance since the last general elections. And throughout the 9 days of campaigning, both the party leaders and its candidate Lee Li Lian, they've been urging voters to vote in Miss Lee just so that the Workers' Party will have a stronger voice in Parliament. Now, of course, Ms. Lee is not new to residents in Punggol East. She contested in the last general elections and she garnered about 41% of valid votes. And of course, she's hoping to improve on her performance this time round and make history not just for herself but also for her party. Because if she does win, then she would be the first opposition woman candidate to have contested and won a single member constituency. So a lot riding for the Workers' Party there. And I also spoke to residents during the campaigning period, and what they tell me about what they're looking for in an MP is that they want a sincere MP and they want an MP who will meet their needs. And of course, Ms. Lee has been addressing those issues, local concerns such as improving bus services in the ward, providing more amenities such as childcare centres and healthcare centres. And she says that if she's elected, one of her first priorities is to ensure the smooth running of the town council. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Imelda. Now, reporter Olivia Seong tracked the voting earlier today and brings us this report.
A queue started forming at this polling centre even before it opened, and once the ballot boxes were ready, voting got underway at 8 a.m. at 10 polling stations. Close to 31,650 Punggol East residents are expected to cast their vote in polling stations like these throughout the day, though many of them said they are here to vote early so they can carry on with the rest of the day's activities.
I'm trying to rush to work because I start at 11 o'clock. So I come down early and it's not so long queue at the same time.
The election time, you will always come early. Make it a time to come early, easier than to beat the crowd.
So I have to rush and then send my baby to my mother's house. Then after that, rush to work.
Special arrangements were made for those with special needs.
They are kind enough to give me the express lane, so I'm a bit faster.
Residents Channel News Asia spoke to said they took their vote seriously.
To me, it's me making my part for this country. So it's my vote that counts.
If there is an occasion where things have to change and they have to put in new candidates to vote and so on, well, you have to take part in it.
What has to be done has to be done. We are exercising our right that has been deployed to us by the government, and let's hope may the better person who may deliver the need of the people be the overall winners for the election.
The 4 candidates were spotted at various polling stations. Dr. Koon from the ruling People's Action Party, Mr. Kenneth Jeyaretnam from the Reform Party, Mr. Desmond Lim from the Singapore Democratic Alliance, and Ms. Lee Li Lian from the Workers' Party made the rounds throughout the day to observe the voting process. After 9 days on the campaign trail, one of them will fill the post vacated in mid-December by Mr. Michael Palmer of the ruling People's Action Party following an extramarital affair, and represents the ward in Parliament.
And hello again. A reminder of our top story. Vote counting is underway for the Punggol East by-election. Residents have been choosing their new MP from among 4 candidates. Our reporter Saiful Bari Ismail is with the Reform Party candidate Kenneth Jeyaretnam. Saiful, tell us more.
Right, the Reform Party candidate for the Punggol East by-election, Kenneth Jeyaretnam, arrived at the principal counting centre here at North Vista Secondary School, the school that you see behind me, at about slightly more than an hour ago. He was chauffeured by party chairman, Mr. Andy Zhu. Mr. Jeyaretnam is currently inside the counting centre, witnessing the counting process. He's accompanied by several of his CEC members. I've actually managed to speak with some of them who is waiting outside the counting centre. So far, they have not heard any official word on how the counting has progressed for the Reform Party. So it's left to be seen how the party will do in this by-election. There's a lot of curious onlookers, presumably residents living in this area, waiting to hear the announcement for this by-election. The Reform Party there's no supporters. They've not brought a lot of supporters. They've not applied for a permit for assembly centre. Nevertheless, the mood at the counting centre here is of great anticipation, not only for the 4 candidates, but also for residents living here in the Punggol East ward. After 9 days of intense campaigning, soon they will know who will be their representative in Parliament. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Saiful. Now, 59 overseas Singaporeans were eligible to vote in the Punggol East by-election. Some of them did so in Hong Kong at the Consulate General's office in Admiralty. The office-turned-polling centre was open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. One voter took a 2-hour train ride from Guangzhou, where he runs a family business.
Overall, I just hope that they can finish up the Rivervale Plaza as soon as possible, and also more childcare over there. Because it's quite a big problem for because my brother is also staying there, my sister also staying there. So they're having quite some problem previously finding a childcare center for their kids.